USA, countyfairgrounds.net. Welcome to today's podcast.
County Fairgrounds here. I have on the phone with me Brady Ramsey, magician, and he's over the top magic.
Yep, balloon, magician and balloon twister.
How long have you been doing it?
Which one?
Well, how long have you been a magician?
Well, I started learning when I was 7. Probably 2002 is when I started doing paid events.
You know, when I interview people these days, I always have to ask them, have you ever done anything else for a living?
Oh yeah, I've had to help regular jobs so I can make sure I have insurance for the family.
A lot of our entertainers haven't done that. And you're a balloon twister. How did you get into that?
Mainly because when I was offering up a kids party package, it was too expensive apparently. But people kept asking me if I knew a balloon twister, so I just decided I'm going to be the balloon twister, so that way I could still charge the same price and just give them both. That way I still get my money. I'm still there for the same amount of time, and they just get more value. That's all.
Okay, Brady, how many years have you been doing it? A magician.
Magician since 2002, and then balloons for the last 7 years.
Okay. I know COVID has hit all of us really badly, so I've imagined you're having a hard time with income and bookings these days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me what kind of events that you do. You do parties and what else?
Yeah, so magician-wise, I do kids parties, graduation parties, company parties, corporate events, and then balloons obviously could fit into all of those if there's kids involved or if it's a team building exercise or whatever. But no, the balloons are mainly for kids events. But yeah.
So do you do fairs and festivals?
Yes, I've done, where I live, I've done a thing called the Strawberry Festival. But yes, I've done 3 or 4. I haven't done like the Evergreen State Fairs or the Washington State Fairs, but I've done fairs and festivals, yes.
Would you be open to doing them?
Yeah, I just haven't joined the association, I guess.
So, how long does your show usually last?
It's caterable, so if you only want like a 30-minute show, I can put together a 30-minute show. If it needs to be an hour-long show, I can do an hour-long show. And if it needs to have a mix of adult things and kids tricks, I can do that too.
So do you come self-contained? Do you bring everything with you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of magic?
Well, I like close-up magic, and I like mentalism, which is more of like the mind-reading type stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you're good at it?
I'm okay. I mean, I'm not like, if I was super good, I'd be on TV somewhere, but I'm good enough to get booked, I guess.
Are you a family man?
Yeah, I have a wife and 3 kids.
So what do your kids think of this?
They like it, especially the balloons, because they get all the practice balloons.
What kind of balloon animals do you sort of like twist?
Pretty much anything. Any animal that you name, I could probably make it. I can do superheroes, princesses, some characters. I'd have to look at a picture, but I can do most characters. When it comes to like a fair or festival, then I have to tone it down a little bit for line work, so they'd be quicker designs like penguins or cookie monsters, Elmos, giraffes, the ones that only take a few minutes. That way the line can keep moving, because people don't want to stand in line all day.
We do a lot of that these days, I guess. Yeah. So you do trade shows too, I see, huh?
Yeah.
Now I have to ask, I always ask this question. What has been your worst experience? And then I'm going to ask you what's been your best.
Worst experience as in
doing an event or a birthday party.
Well, some of the worst experiences that I kind of run into are, and this is kind of like a learn as I've gone, but when I send people a contract and we agree on them giving me a stage to stand on, and there's like 200-300 people, and then they don't give me a stage, and I'm flat on the ground, and the audience is flat too. It's not like stadium seating. It makes for a horrible show because I need people to be able to see me, or else I'm only performing for the first 2 rows of people.
I understand that. I could see where that would be a problem.
I was just saying there's just one other experience where I got hired for a company party, so I came with a mix of adult and kids tricks, but then when the show was going to start, they said, "Okay, kids, run up to the front," and that was not good because it wasn't just a kids show. So.
Oh well, kids do what kids do. So. Okay, so you do birthday parties too. I see that. So have you done a lot of them?
Oh yeah, especially lots of 1- and 2-year-old parties because like the people from India, they sell the first birthdays are like the huge birthday, but even though they have kids of all ages there, so I'm mainly doing balloons at those, but because I've tried to do magic and apparently they're on their own time zone, so when they say we're going to be here from 7 to 9, that way I can do the show and balloons, nobody shows up till 8, so it's like I can only do balloons for you guys because nobody showed up on time.
So tell me what your best experiences have been that have made you happy.
I would say just over the years being able to keep building a client base and getting the bigger customers, but I like the enjoyment of, like, say if I'm doing magic, it's the astonishment on people's faces. Like last night I just did an online magic show, just watching people's faces all the way across the country because they got to experience the magic through the screen versus in person, and it was the same reaction. Yeah, and then when it comes to balloons, it's more of the astonishment of people watching you make the balloon and not seeing the creation until it's like, oh my God, and then they can see it and they're like, that looks like what I asked for. To me, it's like another form of magic because I'm just magically throwing balloons together and now I have what they wanted.
So when did COVID start affecting your business, do you think?
Pretty much right away. My last paying gig was February 7th of 2020, and then it just...
Things are booking. I mean, they are booking. There's a lot of things that aren't booking, but there are things across the country that are booking. I would say after July, all right, and certainly in the fall. But we'll see what happens. I know it's hard out there for you guys now, and I feel really bad for a lot of you entertainers. But I feel bad for the vendors, and a lot of the fairs are having a really bad time too. Okay, so where would you like to perform that you haven't had a chance?
I haven't been able to leave Washington very often. Like I've done Canada and Oregon, I've obviously if I've lived in California, so I've performed there. I've performed in Hawaii and Arizona, places where I've lived, but I haven't been like, hey, we'll fly you out here to do this. It's all kind of been local.
So if you're doing a stage show as a magician, how long would your show be?
Yeah, it depends, but it's usually about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. And you wouldn't go into a fair or festival and be a walking magician around the fairgrounds, would you?
Yeah, I could do walk around magic.
Okay, because a lot of the fairs like that too. All right. And then again, like I asked you, you're pretty self-contained, right?
Yep.
So how did you get into mentalism?
I don't know. It just kind of seems like. Well, I'm one of those types of people where I'm like a jack of all trades. People say jack of all trades, master of none, but I wouldn't say I'm a master at anything, but I'm good enough to do them. So, yeah, because I started with close-up magic, and then over the years, someone's like, you should do a stage show. So I was like, okay, what tricks can I do on stage? And then I did that a few times, and then like, this person's like figuring out what this person's thinking. How can I do that? And then I kind of figured out what tricks I can do to make it seem like I'm reading people's minds, and then I just added that. So it's kind of just a process, I guess.
Okay, I have to ask you, how do people reach you? What's the best way?
Well, I got the business cards, word of mouth, and the website. Obviously, COVID knocked out funds, so I don't have Google ads or anything right now. So yeah.
You're not the only one suffering from that. But no, give us your website URL and an email and or a phone number, however you would prefer to do it. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, you can just go to overthetopmagic.com is the website. And then you can use either overthetopmagic@yahoo.com or Brady Ramsey at overthetopmagic@gmail. And the phone number is 425-314-6320.
Okay, Brady. Well, I hope things get better for everybody, and good luck.
Will I be hearing from people close by me or other parts of the country, or how does that?
Countyfairgrounds.net is a national source, okay? And you could hear from anybody, all right? We will post it. I do get a lot of traffic. But again, we're in a COVID situation. So we'll see what happens. But you're in good company here.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Brady, for the interview.
Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.